What happened between you and your ex-best friend? One day I realized we hadn't talked for 3 years. And then, I shrugged and went back to whatever I was doing. His girlfriend called me one day because he got arrested and couldn't bail him out. I put up the bond and they never paid me back. I learned the hard way to never lend money to friends unless you are prepared to never see that money again. A friend once asked me to lend him $10,000. He claimed it was for his parents to go back to their country for the summer. What it was really for I didn't know. He sweet-talked me saying, I can pay it back in full plus the interest and an extra $1,000 for you. The first month came by, didn't pay me. I told him and he said, it'll give you double next month. The next month, still the same excuse. I got a call from the bank to pay, so I paid with my own money. Ironically, this was at the same time I was renewing my mortgage. Thought everything was okay, but my advisor told me I had too much debt and I wouldn't be able to renew my mortgage. I had until a specific date to pay it off or I will lose my home. I told this to the friend. He said he will get it all for me before the due date. The day it was due, he didn't come into the office. So out of pure fear, I took money from investments to pay off the debt. The next day I told him how disappointed I was that he didn't come through and I told him what I did. He brushed me off and didn't say much. Only his generic excuses. After a while I somewhat gave up. It affected our friendship and our working relationship. He also started bad-mouthing me behind my back. Nice mentality someone has after I gave him a lot of money he didn't pay off. In the meantime, he went out and bought a new bass boat, brand new Mini Cooper S, and bought a new, more expensive home. Our work relationship got so bad that he manipulated our boss in firing me, so I lost my job. It took 4-5 years to pay me back, but only because I was unemployed. After he paid me, we didn't speak again. Our mutual friend didn't know any of this when it happened and also found it really harsh. He also doesn't speak to this guy. Dude, that's extra rough. But you took out a loan to lend to this guy. I was under the impression at first you gave him some extra cash. Taking out money you don't have to lend to someone else, that's playing with fire. Drifted apart slowly. I always felt like I had to initiate the hanging out and she was always busy. I can actually feel this happening now between my friend and I. Haha. Same haha. We were bonded in negativity. I decided I didn't want to live like that anymore and did everything possible to make my life a better place. The happier I got, the meaner she started being, and the more she belittled my happiness. It felt horrible. I tried to help her, but she refused to help herself. I didn't handle everything perfectly, but I tried. Eventually I couldn't do it anymore. We were best friends 15 years. I still miss her, still think about her. I hope she can find happiness someday. Sucks. Bonded in negativity is such a good way of putting it. It's so easy to get attached to people in a mutually headspace. They feel like the only people who get you. But then you realize down the line that you are tired of playing it being a depressed misanthrope. You are tired of going to bars to have fake conversations with people so you can make fun of everyone you met later over coffee and cigarettes. You are tired of swapping the same 3 people fucked me over stories, of validating your own self-righteous misery. You are tired of hearing about how you'll get out of this hole someday, and you'll laugh about it someday. You get tired of being talked to and not talked to. You get tired of lending money, even if they are the only friend left, even if you are sure they would do the same. I was so tired for so many years. It took realizing how much money I had thrown away on a person for me to realize we were both dragging ourselves and one another down. So I quit, got 2 jobs, worked 7 days a week, stopped hanging. After 6 months I was out of debt, quit one of the jobs, met fantastic supportive people, started dating for the first time in half a decade. Now I'm married with 2 cats and financial security. Life got better when I stopped indulging in how miserable I was, and let myself be more genuine with the people around me. It's funny how things change when you start being genuine and open with people, isn't it? I thought that everyone disliked and judged me, so I just avoided everyone but my own group of friends. Just talked about, judged everyone. Turns out when I opened up and was friendly and positive with people, they did the same to me. I was doing it to myself. They didn't dislike me, they just didn't know me. At some point, you need to admit that you are sticking yourself in that pit of misery. Glad you got yourself out of that situation, dude. Sounds like things got a lot better for you. We both quit doing drugs. Turns out we were actually very different people. The only thing we really had in common was the drugs. Real talk. She was pretty passively patronizing in hindsight, but one day she took it way too far and made some jokes about the sorest spot in my life publicly, and refused to stop, despite me and another person telling her she wasn't funny and needed to stop. I made it very clear that I was pretty distraught because of what she said and asked for an apology. She ghosted. I found out 2 other people had independently reached to her and said she should apologize. And next thing I get this manipulative message that was basically, "I'm sorry, are you happy now?" I tried so hard to mend our friendship and thought we were all good, but then she just hardcore ghosted. I really only expect basic human decency in friendships, like taking responsibility and apologizing when you hurt someone, and at every opportunity she avoided that. I'm still pretty sad about it, but I do think I'm better off now. I only want people who care about me in my life, not ones who use the pain in my life as a big joke. This happened with me too. She shared my secrets in parties as a joke, including publicly outing me as bi when I was barely at terms with it myself, and she knew that. He started dating a girl and eventually got engaged. She hates the out of me, so naturally I was cut off. He still never missed an opportunity to ask me for help whenever he needed it though. Guess it's okay to unassociate with someone when you need something. This is way too common and it sucks. I think I read a study one time where basically, getting married causes you to lose something like 2 friends on average. Obviously there's outliers on either side, but in my experience that is about the norm. I've never been married, but quite a few of my friends have. I have not lost a single one of them. Time gets contrained though, so you hang out a lot less, especially once they have kids. My first buddy to get married and have kids is actually starting to be available a whole lot more. His kids are getting to the age where he does not have to be watching over them 100% of the time to make sure they stay, don't accidentally kill themselves becoming responsible-ish. She showed up on my doorstep at 2 a.m., drunk, on crack with her 1-year-old baby with a dirty diaper and a shirt. I was best friends with her for years and was even there when she gave birth and brought her son home from the hospital. I stayed with her for weeks while she dealt with PPD. She asked me to be the godmother to her son, and we were all inseparable, until she started asking me to babysit to give her a night out once in a while. Little did I know she was getting into some really bad stuff. The night she showed up at 2 a.m. I knew right then and there that this would be the last time I ever saw her. I had lost all respect for her, IHATEE who she became. I wanted to slam the door right in her face, but I couldn't. She held her son on her hip and he was crying, shivering, and most likely just woken up from his sleep. I took him from her arms, and gave her some money for a cab and sent her on her way, but kept her son with me for the night. A night turned into 4 days, and when her mother eventually got a hold of me, she came to pick up the baby, and that was the last time I saw either one of them. I guess she went to rehab for a while and is now a few months sober. Her parents have custody of her son, but she lives with them. I'm very proud of her, and I miss my godson more than anything. Edit. I have previously reached out to her upon her arrival back home, but evidently didn't hear anything back. As I commented below, I believe she feels I abandoned her, but it was incredibly hard to watch someone slowly kill themselves over a period of time and continuously put their child in danger. Help has been offered to her many times. I even sat in on an intervention, but alas she had to want the help, and she didn't. I wish I could do more and just show up, but I don't want to mess with her recovery, as I'm told it's very tricky. Addiction ruins people and makes them someone you don't know. It's hard not to put the blame on the person, but you should view it as a disease she is struggling with. If she is truly sober, I'd suggest reaching out. You can keep it simple, but that old positive connection with her may give her the motivation to continue the fight. I probably should have added that I did reach out a few times when she got home. I didn't hear back from her. Putting myself in her shoes, I think she feels I abandoned her, and I somewhat feel like I did too. It was just impossible to watch her slowly kill herself and put her son in danger too. I wish I knew. I got ghosted and it's left me absolutely gutted. This was me too. I was seriously dating a man with kids. I was thrilled to be part of their lives. She had a weird relationship with her own stepmom, and became furious with me that I was investing my time and energy in these kids in a mom way, as though I was trying to usurp their own mom. No, I was just trying to love them as best I could. I invited her to my bridal shower. Nada. I invited her and her husband to our wedding. Nada. This friend of over 10 years just poofed because I refused to treat my partner's kids as distant strangers in my home instead of children I loved and cared for. I have to think there was something else involved. I just wish I knew what it was. There's nothing that can make a person run and hide faster than being forced to see something that forces them to honestly deal with themselves. I've seen people who have laughed at guns being in their face turn and cower when forced to look in a type of mirror. He raped and murdered a girl, so kind of lost contact after that. Dodged a bullet. I like to think so. He was getting married. Never was invited to the wedding. Edit. To clarify this habit, he called me the day after he proposed to her. It wasn't something I found out secondhand. Found Drake Bell's Reddit. I got lost in life and became the toxic friend. I admire your self-awareness. His mom passed away while we were in middle school, and he ended up moving in with his dad, who lived halfway across the country. I tried to be there for him as much as possible, but I don't think he wanted anything to remind him of his mom. I know I did, because she was like my second mother. It sucked, but what can you do? I had a male best friend, and I'm female. Once he started dating his now wife, he said he couldn't be friends with any women anymore, even though I was engaged to someone else, and neither of us ever had feelings for each other. His siblings still talk to me occasionally and said he cut out pretty much all of his friends and family members when he met her, not because she wanted him to, but because he wanted to. This happens all the time. Myself and my two best friends are a group of 2 guys and a girl. The other guy's girlfriend, though, he was attracted to the girl because we all hung out together and thought we had a weird love triangle going on. It's happened to me with my partners and the girls' boyfriends. It's always awkward, and even if we get cut off for a while, we always welcome the other back if they break up with that person or their partner actually gets the situation. We loved each other. We fucked. He freaked out because he didn't know what we were and was scared of losing me, so he emotionally disconnected from our friendship. He kept sleeping with me. In the process of doing all of that, he treated me so bad emotionally that he basically did lose me anyway. Sounds like he played himself. Another one cheated on me by raping my girlfriend and giving her a permanent medical condition and severe anxiety. Lied to me afterward when she told me. Dragged several other friends into this on his side, and I blocked them all. When I told his girlfriend, he became very violent and aggressive. I ended up calling the cops on him, and he was arrested and taken to jail. I hope he dies quickly. NGT. She did move. NGT. By raping my girlfriend. Oh god no. NGT. And giving her permanent medical condition. Most of the replies here are fairly tame, but yours is just some next level. How long is he locked up for, if you know?